Yeah. Welcome to the Comfort Stop. I'm Rick Rock. I'm your host, and I'm off the clock. I am off the clock today. You know why? Because it's Juneteenth. It's Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth to all the regulars out there that got today off. It's a working holiday, so tomorrow we're going to get hammered. So expect to get hammered tomorrow. Not like Brian Renfro, not that type of hammered, but hammered mail-wise. We're going to get freaking hammered. Lots of DPS, lots of parcels or packages. But hey, it is what it is. Man, we wanted the job and we got it. So let's do it. You know what though? There's probably people out there right now at 7:15 at night, and they're still waiting for their mail. Like, where the fuck is the mailman at? He's late tonight. It's 7:15. He still ain't here. Did the mail come yet? You know, and that's the type of people that look at you when you're on your lunch break like, have you delivered my street yet? Like, nah, I'm on lunch actually. Oh, you get a lunch? Yeah. You get a lunch? Yeah. But anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked. I got a guest on today. Second guest on the Comfort Stop. I got to give it up. Region 1 NBA, National Business Agent, not National Basketball Association. Region 1 National Business Agent Keisha Lewis stops by the Comfort Stop. And we're going to talk off the clock because that's what we do. That's what we do best. So we're going to talk with Keisha Lewis. It was a pleasure. Man, it was a pleasure. She's now running for president of Branch 1100. Man, we're going to dive into all kind of stuff. So, man, put your seatbelt on or put the lap belt on and man, let's take a ride on the Comfort Stop. Holla. All right, welcome to the Comfort Stop. We got a special guest, Keisha Lewis, the National Business Agent of Region 1, here on the Comfort Stop. Welcome to the Comfort Stop, Keisha.
Thank you for inviting me to the Comfort Stop, Rick.
Oh, anytime. Man, we got some questions for you, and we're gonna run through them. Or you know what? We'll walk steady through them because there's no reason to run because we're off today. It's Juneteenth, so all the carriers, all the regulars anyway, we're off, so we ain't gonna be doing any running today.
No running today, or walking your route.
Oh my God. So Keisha, first thing I want to ask you, we talk, I wouldn't say regularly. We don't talk regularly, but when we do talk, man, we always talk like just friends. Like,
yes,
we just talk and we shoot the shit, and it's a real friendly relationship.
most definitely.
And I wouldn't even, I don't even feel like you act like a NBA. You're just a friend.
And a letter carrier.
That's
right.
Yeah. She's a letter carrier, y'all. Yeah.
That's right.
But one thing I wanted to ask you is, man, what's it been like? What's it been like since 2021, being the National Business Agent of Region 1?
It's been great. Actually, it's been 2023 since I've been business agent, but it's been great being a business agent. It's been great being able to meet members across this region, trying to get our numbers down because our numbers were up for cases pending arbitration, and just doing the work of a national business agent and being on the executive council.
Damn, that sounds like too much work. I think I'll stay a letter carrier. Yeah, I think carrying is where I'm. That's my niche. That just sounds like way too much of a headache. Man, you know what, Keisha? And I want my money back from ChatGPT because they told me 2021. And when it said 2021, I was like, damn, has it been that long?
No, it has not been
Has
that
it been
long.
that long?
2023,
Crazy.
which tells the post office we cannot always allow depend on the computer, so we need to make sure that letter carriers always have 8 hours worth of work.
Yes, for sure. Man, you know, another question I have is man, what is it like having a seat at the table at National? You know, is it like Thanksgiving dinner or is it like the Last Supper? Because you know, up at National, like everybody's talking about like, oh man, it's this bad. Oh, it's this divided. Oh, they're all together. Oh, the executive council, this and that. But what is it really like having a seat at the table for a carrier like wanting to know like how is it? Like since you're there, like, man, tell us a little bit about what's it like?
I think it's awesome because there's things that go on in different parts of the country. And I tend to think that things that happen in region one, since we're the biggest region, happens before it happens in other parts of the country. So I'm able to share with my counterparts what I'm dealing with. And then more than likely, sometimes they're dealing with it 3 or 4 months later. So it's awesome having a seat at the table and being able to express what you're dealing with in the region or ask questions or get answers for letter carriers.
And with everything that goes on at National, like how often are you in Washington?
It kind of just depends on what's going on.
It just depends.
Yes.
So like how often do you see everybody? Like when you say, "Hey, I'm going to DC." When you get there, do you see like everybody? Like, you know, do all the business agents go at the same time, or is it pretty sporadic? Or when you're there, like, you know, some of them aren't there, and how often do you see like the president or Renfro or Barner? Like, is it common? Like James Henry, is it often like that you guys all just walk down the hallways and you're like, hey, what's up? Or is it just kind of you're in your own world when you get there?
No. So when we have executive council meeting, everyone that's part of the executive council attend unless there's like an emergency or someone's sick or already had something planned, such as a vacation. But we're not normally walking down the hall. We go into a room and we discuss everything, and it's everyone. So yes, James is there, Renfro is there, and all the business agents are there,
Okay.
and the trustees.
And the trustees. Hey, Keisha, do y'all get along pretty good or
Down. Some people do, some people don't. It can get kind of spicy.
spicy's fun? Spicy's fun. I'm not a spicy guy, but you know, some people like spicy. You like spicy?
But sometimes spicy is good because I think it's very important for people to be able to express what they're feeling and feel like they're being heard, and then they get an answer to whatever issue that they have going on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Man, do you feel like in your honest opinion, do you feel like when you bring points up that you get that ear? Like, do you think that it, so like when you voice your concerns currently, do you feel like it gets absorbed or does it go in one ear and out the other?
I
Uh,
feel like they listen.
okay. Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. Um, and man, I hope so. I hope they're listening when the concerns are being shot out there. Um, Keisha, what's been one of your biggest challenges? Or no, let's start with your you want to start with your challenges or should we let's talk about the good? Like what's your biggest accomplishment so far
As what? The
as
business agent or
as,
what?
as being an MBA?
One of my biggest accomplishments was our region is really big with over 40,000 members. So we have a lot of grievances, and we will never say don't file a grievance because that's what we're in the business of doing is filing grievances. But I like to try to get them resolved before going to arbitration if possible, so that people are not waiting so long to have their case heard in arbitration. So one of my accomplishments is when I was able to get our numbers down with having a lot of pre-arb sessions. So there's a lot of members that will probably get pre-arbitration settlements before waiting to go to arbitration. But that currently has changed recently because I have a lot of Article 8 grievances with escalated remedies. So my numbers are up right now, but that's not a bad thing because we're not going to settle and we're going to go to arbitration.
Man, that's nice because like from man, what it sounds like, man, the Postal Service really don't like to go to arbitration, right?
They do, and they do if they believe that they have a strong case, and so sometimes they do, and they want to go with these Article 8s because they feel like they can win. But we have to make sure that these cases are heard and we're ready to fight.
Man, thank God. Thank God for that. Like I know people down on the workroom floor right now are like, damn, I haven't seen any grievance money on my paycheck.
Hold off because we're on some of these Article 8s in certain cities. If they're impasse at my level, they may have to wait a little bit longer because we are fighting to make sure that these cases are heard in arbitration. But it's pretty much my Article 8s that are backed up. That's it.
Man, you know what? We just my unit, uh the 5-9 unit, talking about grievances while we're talking about it. We just got a win on a start time grievance. And man, we got a nice little chunk of change. And
Congrats.
yeah, so they changed our start time from like 7:30 to 8 o'clock, like I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago. So we got that 30 minutes differential. Man, we got it. Man, just the 5-9 zone though was super happy. Like, damn, I haven't seen this much money in a long time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so man, you know what? Like if I didn't know better, I wouldn't have even brought that up to my branch president's what do you call it? Whatchamacallit? I wouldn't have put it on his radar. But that's a whole separate story. We're just gonna keep going. Um, what's been one of your biggest challenges, Keisha?
As business agent, are we talking about business agent?
Yep, as business
Okay.
agent.
Okay, let me know when we're switching gears. As a business agent, I would say coming in because I had an election, and when I came in, I the region was divided, and there was a lot of people that was really upset. So one of my biggest challenges was trying to make sure that all the branch presidents knew that I was for all the branch presidents, even if they were upset about the elections. I was here for the membership.
And that's always a good thing. Man, that's where solidarity comes in,
Right.
you know? Man, because then if you don't have that, it just goes amok.
It could.
God. Yeah, and especially with a branch like yours, you know,
Yes, it's a big branch.
it's a big branch. That is a big branch. Like I'm in a branch with 100 people, and damn, it's my branch is hard. It seems hard, but I can't even like how many letter carriers are in 1100, would you say?
7,500, but the way that I look at it,
Wow.
no, but let me look at it. The way that I look at it is like we're a whole bunch of small branches. So even because each office is unique and each office is different. So that's like having a whole little brand, a whole bunch of branches merged into one, which is branch 1100.
7,500. Golly. Man, your phone never stops ringing, probably.
It's quite busy.
Yes, it's quite. Say the truth. It's damn busy. It's
But
damn
you
busy.
kind of get used to it though.
Leave a message.
You get used to it. I've been doing this for a while, so it's not something that's new to me.
Yeah, I like those. I like those messages, the text messages that I get back from you where you're like, "Man, I'm at the airport. I'll call you when I touch down." Like, oh,
Always at the airport. Yes.
oh man. Hey, so what is it like, Keisha? What is it like being a part of the biggest branch in the country? Like, what is the vibe like of just being a part of something that big? Like knowing, like, damn, we got the biggest branch.
I don't necessarily look at it like, oh, I'm in the biggest branch or think about it because it's my passion for my branch. And the passion doesn't come from the branch size. It just comes from the love that I have for my branch. I became a full-time officer in my branch in 2007, and I've grown a lot in my branch. I mean, I had a child, I got pregnant as a full-time officer. My child knows the officers in that branch. He's grown up in branch 1100. I love the members in my branch. I know all the district managers. I make sure that I know all the district managers. So I absolutely like love my branch. Like I cried before I left. It was hard for me to leave. And it took me a couple of months to make the decision that I would want to be NBA because I love my branch so much.
Man, it's like leaving home, huh?
Yes, it was leaving home.
Yeah,
That
right.
is
Like,
my
damn,
home.
I'm
Branch
leaving home.
1100 is my home.
Man, leaving home. Like, I can't even imagine. Like, like your branch compared to my branch. Like, if I left my home 627, it's only 100 people, and man, I probably wouldn't even cry if I left. But man,
I cried.
your branch, golly, man, and it's awesome. What's awesome is to hear, like, man, since '07.
Yes.
You said '07.
Yes, I started off doing workers' comp as a full-time officer in my branch, and I trained for that position, not that position, but learning workers' compensation for maybe a year and a half to 2 years before I was voted in for that position. And I absolutely loved it. And I absolutely loved a challenge with that position and just making sure, like seeing people lives change because that can be a very difficult with Department of Labor and not getting paid and a lot of other issues and being able to fix those issues and turn people's lives around. That gave me such pleasure.
And you just wanted to keep on climbing.
I did not.
You did
So,
not.
no, I did not. I
So what?
love,
Tell me about it. Like, so you tell me about the progression.
I did not want to leave that position because I loved it so much. And they were like, Keisha, you have to grow. And in the Leadership Academy is something that we teach, and I normally really emphasize on it, is that you have to get outside your comfort zone. And so I did not want to leave my comfort zone. And it actually took me a couple of years to finally say, okay, I will leave this job. So I left doing workers' compensation and then I became a regular VP in my branch. My branch has six vice presidents. And so I left workers' comp to start doing vice president's work in my branch. And then from there, I became
Keisha, vice president. So what year are we talking when you jumped to vice president?
2016, I believe, but that's how long it took me to leave workers' compensation.
Damn,
They
man.
kind of had to drag me out of it.
Give me the key. Give me the key, Keisha.
Yes, yes,
You don't need it anymore.
yes. So after in 2016, I became a regular vice president, and then they started grooming me to become a president. So I became a vice president and then a senior vice president because my branch has two senior vice presidents. And then after being a senior vice president, I became the executive vice president of my branch and then the president of my branch.
Damn, you got a whole lot of medals. Like you got a whole lot of hats you've done worn.
And it's necessary for my branch because of the size. It's you should be very well rounded to be president of branch 1100.
Damn, so you've done everything from workers' comp, vice president. executive vice president. Man, you've been president, right?
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's not to me, man. No, thank you. Yeah, no, thank you. Um, Keisha, as of today, man, give me the rundown. Like, tell me like the current state of your branch right now. Like, like I know like you're a business agent, but I know you got like one foot in. You have to have like one foot in the door, kind of like because you got a lot of people that care about you. You care about them, so you hear like what's going on. What's the current state of your branch right now? 1100.
I'm very thankful for our members. I absolutely love our members, but the current state is my branch is really fractured. And it really hurts me that my branch has become really fractured. And that is something that I am going to change. My branch should be united. It should be structured. There should be good leadership there. So yeah, that's the current status. It's pretty much fractured.
Man, is there any particular reason why, or is it, like because I think around the country, there's so many branches that are fractured.
Hmm.
But like, yeah, there's all kind of different reasons, like,
Correct.
some people are just, hey, I don't want to be a union member anymore. So
Yeah.
you have that, and it's like, and that kind of fractures, what do you call it, morale.
Yes.
So you're like, oh, our branch don't have a lot of morale, and then you got people saying scab, fucking scab. And I used to be one of those guys, Keisha, where it was like, oh, it's a fucking scab. But like, the last time I ran for president, I think I actually learned something because I got the non-members to join again. And I got a handful to join again. And I was like, man, you can't call these people fucking scabs because you're gonna keep asking them to come back. Like, how are you gonna get these people to come back if you keep saying, "Oh, they're fucking scabs," right?
Well, a scab is a scab, but dealing with how the branches are fractured, I think it really starts locally, and I think it starts with the president. I think it starts with the president having leadership, and within my branch, branch 1100, I personally, as long as I was there, we never depended on the business agent's office for anything. We never depended on national for anything. My branch always ran independently. So I think it's up to the local branches because Renfro's not going to come out here and fix a branch. It's our branch. We have to take ownership of our branch. So it's our responsibility to put a plan in place to make sure that we can get our branch united. There was membership drives that I used to do as the president because to try to get the non-members to join. I would do membership drives like if you sign a non-member up, you will get like $100 bounty to try to get non-members to join. I would send them letters as well asking them to join. But I ultimately it's up to the local branch to make sure that they get their branch functioning, working well, united, and on the same page.
Man, I love that bounty. That bounty, that's where it's at. Like, hey, there's a bounty on these non-members. If you could get one, is you get $100. Why don't that needs to man, that should be implemented everywhere.
Well, I don't remember the exact amount. I think our bounty is $50. I don't remember if I had it up to 75 or 100. So don't quote me, but I do know I do know that I increased it. It could have been 100. I just don't remember. Um, but it depends on how much money the branch have. And I looked at it like it was an investment because we're gonna get this money back because they're gonna be a union member. But it's an investment to the membership. And why wouldn't we not want to try to sign up the non-scabs because they're getting all the same benefits as a dues paying member?
Correct. And also, Keisha, you get more bees with honey.
Yes,
Hey, fuck that scab. Like, nah, hey man, just come on back to the union, man.
absolutely, absolutely.
Man. So Keisha, man, moving right along on the next loop. you know, you're coming back home. You're gonna come back home and you're gonna run for president. Well, shit, you're running for president of Branch 1100. Let's talk about it. Like, you know, tell me what your plan is. Like, Branch 1100, here I come.
Yes, I Branch 1100. Here Keisha comes. The third choice plate.
Love it.
I actually want to pick up where I left off at with my branch. I did make a lot of changes as president. I thought about how big our branch is. Our branch is 7,500 members. So there were certain protocols that I had started to put in place with our grievances that I want to go back and implement before they go to step B and having an officer to review it and make sure that we're doing additions and corrections if necessary. Also, one of the big things, our branch has always like just relied upon the grievance process. And my philosophy, and maybe because I'm a younger president, was that my branch is big enough to get everybody involved. And it doesn't just have to be the grievance process, although that's our core duty. So I'm never going to take away from the grievance process because that's what we're here for, is to make sure that the contract is followed. But in addition to that, I think that when you go out there and you're talking to members and you find out what their interests are, I like to get those members involved in whatever their interests are because that helps my branch to grow even more. And that's one of the things that I did. And when I was president and we had the convention, we won several awards because I put the right people in place over certain committees. And I really, really love that. And that's one of the things that I want to expound upon when if I'm elected as branch president again. And on food drive day, I was talking to one of the members and he kept talking about podcasts. And I was like, that's something that I think that we should do in Branch 1100 when I get back. So I want to make sure that we have two training sessions a month at least. And that would be like in my 6 month plan of returning back to Branch 1100 so that a lot of our members, they don't want to attend a branch meeting. And a lot of them learn and they listen while they're out there on a podcast. So I want to have additional training on podcasts so that our members can listen to that. And then I also want to expound upon my relationships with the members of Congress. That was something that was very important to me, especially like if something was going on with the letter carrier, I'm able to contact that congressperson and help get them involved because I have that special relationship with that um, congressional representative. So that's something else that I want to do. And that really helped out when it came to COVID because there was vaccines were not available to letter carriers. And I was able to get our letter carriers and their families vaccinated before it was available to letter carriers.
Oh, wow. Man, that's huge. That's freaking huge. And speaking about also you know, making really having relationships with people in Congress, um, and getting those relationships when carriers are harmed, like to have that resource. Um, Something popped into my head where I just saw an article last night, and I could be wrong, but I think there was a 35-year-old carrier that was shot and killed on his route, and I want to say it was
Hmm.
was it Southern California?
Yes, it was. And it
35.
Yes, and that absolutely that sucks because when I got hired, it was a letter carrier was unapproachable when I got hired, and that's no longer the case. People feel very comfortable attacking letter carriers and robbing letter carriers, and that's something that we need to fix.
It sure is. And Ray Hodge, the carrier that was murdered in New York on his lunch break, he was stabbed to death. His sister had a statement after the sentencing, and she made a statement, and it was to the effect that letter carriers are just the wrong shade of blue. Like if we were the other shade of blue, like
Mhm.
some of the injustices that are happening to us would not happen.
Correct.
And it's just insane. But yeah, man, that was a horrible story that I heard. But jumping back to you and what we're talking about, man, your slate, the clear choice slate, man, tell us about like the clear choice slate, um, and what sets you apart from your opponent.
So most of the officers on my slate, they're current officers or they're previous officers. And the reason why I have past presidents on my slate, and they're on my slate not necessarily because hey, let me come back because they retired, but it's a need to get our branch back to the way that it was. So they decided to join me, and I'm very appreciative to help get our branch back on one accord and united. The officers that are on my slate, a lot of them are current officers that are on my slate. On the opposition slate, I did decide to not run some of the current officers because I love my branch and it's important to me that even though they're on the opposite slate, that we have officers on day one ready to serve the membership. So I did not have someone to run against a certain officer because it was more important to me to make sure that we had officers that are ready and capable of running. So the difference with the clear choice slate is that they're ready. They're ready on day one. They don't have to get ready. I don't want to get into the mud with that other slate because I'm going to go on our accomplishments. But just to give you an example, there's someone that's been doing workers' compensation for several years. There's someone on the opposition. I don't even know if that person ever filed a workers' compensation claim for themselves, but to have them to run for a position of workers' compensation for 7,500 people and you don't have any training to where you're ready on day one, it took me a year to a year and a half to get prepared for that job. And I mentored the person who currently have that job. So what sets us apart is that we're ready on day one, and I have people that are willing to fight. And that I'm not talking about the opposition. I'm just talking about my slate. I have people on my slate that are willing to fight for letter carriers. They have a passion for fighting for letter carriers, and they're experienced and they have leadership skills and they're ready on day one. And also, they're about unity. We're not going to be going back. I'm not one for a lot of drama, so it's not going to be a lot of drama on my slate. We're about the membership. We're not about a Renfro. We're not about a COC. We're the biggest branch in the country. We're about branch 1100. We're about the membership.
Hell yeah. Tell them. God, that's what's up. Just tell them. Man, if and all you had, hey, you know what? Like when you if y'all win, it's just like turning on a light switch. Y'all ready to go.
I'm ready to go on day one. I have a 6 month plan in place right now. And in 3 months, within 3 months, they'll start to see a difference. And it's important for me as well as the president. For me, it takes a long time. I'm not going to lie for me to visit every single post office because we have like 90 post offices. So it takes me a while to visit them, but it's extremely important for me to go and visit each post office because it's important for me to know what the membership is feeling and for them to tell me what's going on. And I've if I go into an office and it's bad and they have an office break, I'm known to tell the carriers to let's go outside and I'll hold a rap session on that 10-minute break.
Yeah, exactly. Man, Keisha, it's freaking nuts out there. It's freaking nuts. Um, I want to ask you something, and I don't know. We'll see how you feel. I'm gonna see how you feel about it. But I know that you want to your love for your branch is what inevitably is what brought you is bringing you back home again. You're coming. You're just you want you're coming home and that's where that's what this chapter of this next chapter for you. This is like it's the love that's driving you home, but there's something else that's bringing you home.
Yes.
And and I don't know if it's a touchy subject, but like I know about it because uh just through you, but you've had some things, happen to you in your personal life, and there's a reason. There's a bigger picture. It's there's people online, and I'm not gonna say any names because for what? But they're like, oh, she's failed here and she couldn't handle it there, so she's coming home. But damn, that's not even why. So
No, it's not.
if you would like to share, like, some of the reasons why you're coming home, uh,
No, and that's not. And so, no, the love for my branch has been bothering me. And then also, I wasn't necessarily probably going to run for business agent again. I probably was going to run for a national officer position, but there has been a lot, and I'm not going to ever back down from a fight or from a challenge or someone says, "Hey, she failed as business agent," because I also look at criticism as a way for me to grow. So if somebody says she's doing this, I'm going to grow from it. I'm not going to cry and be like, "Oh no," because as a leader, we should always be open minded and willing to grow. So I'm never going to be a failure because I'm always willing to learn. On the other note, that I do have an 11-year-old son who had asked me to come home. And then at the beginning of this year, my father passed away and my mother like really needs me. So it was kind of like divine time with my love for my branch along with my family dynamics changing.
hmm and let me tell you, like the family dynamic, like, man, you only have one family, right? Like with me, like, man, like my family, small. I have a small family, um, and one of those pieces is gone, and there's no getting that time back.
Hmm.
Um, you lost your father, right?
Yes.
And now it's your mother, and I'm not sure how old she is, but I mean, she's probably like, what do they call it? The twilight years, like
Yes.
the later years, right? Like
Yes.
this is what parents need their kids for. Like
Yes.
this is why I think parents have kids because man, they're gonna need somebody. The parents are gonna need somebody to lean on when they get older and it's harder for them to take care of themselves. Um,
Right.
they're
Yeah.
also they're also going to have children. You have your own children, right? And children like young kids, man, well, your kid's not a young kid, like he's growing up, right? Did you say he's in high school?
No, my kid is
Seventh,
he just graduated sixth grade, so he's
seventh
going into
grade.
junior high. Yes, he's in seventh grade now.
Yeah. And like young kids, like we talked about it, like, man, they don't forget nothing.
No, they don't forget anything. And there was a lot of um, him being a little disappointed that I missed certain games. And with my personality, I'm kind of like the team mom. But also, I want to go back to what you said because when they said she failed, I remember when I first became a full-time officer and people was like, why is she a full-time officer? She's so young. She's not going to do good. When
Mhm.
they said that, I didn't run from it. It made me become one of the best worker compensation specialists across this country to where national would come and ask me questions. So I took that comment and I became the best at what I've done. So when they say she failed, I don't look at it like, oh, I'm going to run because they think I'm failing. I actually do the opposite and to prove them wrong. So that's not the case at all. And it just had to do with timing and the members asking me to come back and my love for the branch. for me to come back. And then the family dynamic played a role as well.
Man, and that, man, that's it says a lot, like not only like your family needing you, and your son like, man, mom, you ain't coming, you missed my game.
Yeah, I love my baby.
And the thing of it is too, Keisha, is when you start missing games and you start missing these little moments, it don't even have to be something significant. It could be going to, hey, we were supposed to go to BJ's Friday night, and now we're not. Like
Right,
the more stuff a parent starts missing, the more resentful, the word resentful could be it, but the more a young child, like a kid, will resent in a way like, damn. Because my dad, he didn't go to my graduation when I graduated high school. He was like, "You're supposed to graduate. Why do you need me to go?" He went to work. He's like, "I gotta work. I gotta go to work." And I was
right.
like, "Fuck."
And not to take away, because there's a lot of letter carriers that are delivering and they're not able to go to certain games that their kids have. And I fought for letter carriers that tried to go to their kids' graduation and management would not allow them. But so it's not even just the events. I just need to have a strong presence in my child's life.
Yes, you do. And I agree with that fully. Um, Man, so man, good for you coming home because man, it's not like it ain't like your son's gonna be mad at any of the letter carriers in 1100. Like, man, you're the reason my mom's not here, and they're not thanking you. Like your members are like it's so different. Like it's a weird dynamic. Like in my head right now, I'm picturing it. Like, man, the stuff that you give up to fight for to be a business agent, like
Or,
the
yeah,
the sacrifice, and nobody, they say, oh, a steward's a thankless job. Imagine being an
it
MBA.
is. Yeah,
Imagine being an MBA. Like, damn, nobody even, damn, I missed my son's game, and these people, nobody said, hey, thank you for this or that.
right.
And then people want to talk smack, and oh, you failed this, you can't do this, you're this. Like, damn, I'm doing all this, and I'm a mom, and I'm a wife, and I'm taking care of my mom. Really?
Right. And you have, as a leader, you have to ignore that outside noise, because if you're a true leader and you're doing it for all the right reasons, all of that, you can ignore that, and the membership actually sees the work that you're doing. So I ignore all that outside noise.
Man, keep ignoring that outside noise, Keisha. And I want to talk about something too. Um, I have a quote, and it better be a quote from you, because man, Chat GBT let me down. Chat GBT told me 2021, but I got a quote, uh, and it's one of your quotes, and it's not about enforcing the contract. It's about making sure every letter carrier knows they're not alone, that someone is always fighting for them, even when they're not in the room.
Okay, so it is about enforcing the contract. So absolutely, it's always about enforcing the contract. But I do think it's extremely important that you're fighting for the letter carriers, even when they're not in the room. Like, you have to stand for what you believe in. So, I mean, there's been a lot of notice of removals where I've had letter carriers that maybe had a drug problem, but I'm going to that manager with saying that you have to have some kind of compassion for this letter carrier. You have to give them another chance. So absolutely, you fight for them when they're not in the room. And I fight for every single member, like every single member.
And you fought for me. I'll put it here. I this comp that quote that she said, 100%. 100%, it's facts. Because in 2023, I was out on a 16/7 removal, and my sister was going through her cancer um on the later months of her life, and I got removed from work, and I wasn't at work. I wasn't in the room. But Keisha called me and she told me all the things that I needed to do. Like it's funny. Like I spent every day with her uh towards the end of her life. And
Hmm.
Keisha, nobody from my branch fucking called to see how I was doing. No officers from my branch fucking called me and said, how are you hanging? You hanging in there? How's things going?" But like you called and were like, "This is what you need to do. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. You get your EDD set up. Call them.
Hmm.
Don't forget to call them.
Hmm.
Do it. It's gonna take a minute, but get it done." There was nobody else was doing that. It's funny that quote, like it hit home for me because I could vouch for it.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily talk to every single member because I mean, even in my branch or in the region, because there's so many people. But if I know of something, even if the person don't hear from me directly, I'm still going to try to get involved even if they don't hear from me directly. But I was faced with that early on in the post office, where I had a manager that was just really going after me, and I kind of felt alone. And that's how I got involved in the union. So I don't want anybody to feel alone, or I want them to know what we're doing to work on the process and not just thinking nothing's going on, because sometimes it takes a couple of months or a lot of months before your case is adjudicated. But I don't want people to think that the union has abandoned me or they're not doing anything. You just may not see the results right away.
Man, that's facts. And I felt, you know what? Another thing, man, I felt special. Like, man,
You are special.
hey, she called Rick. She called Rick Rock. Like, hey, this is what you need to do. So that's why she called me. That's why.
You are special.
I gotta give a shout out though to I gotta give a shout out to Horace too, because man, he was calling me too, he was just giving it to me straight. And man, there was many times where I would call him and he would just tell me like, "You want me to give you the truth or you want me to lie to you?" And I was like,
That sounds like him.
"Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth." Like, okay, I'm gonna tell you the truth, but man, it might hurt your feelings. And I was like, "Fuck." Uh,
And that's the truth. Like, if you tell somebody the truth, they can't get mad at you for speaking the truth. And then it kind of goes with your credibility. Like, even when I was a shop steward, I remember fighting for the members and like saying, "Hey, I'm going to file this grievance. I don't know if we're going to win. Some of my full time officers don't want me to file this grievance." And I'm saying, "Hey, if we lose, I'm going to go back and tell the carriers I did everything that I could do, but we lost this grievance."
Man, and hey, as long as you're transparent and you're telling the truth, man, that's all you could do.
And they will respect you for it.
And they'll respect you for it.
That's right. If you just try to BS somebody, they're gonna call you out on your BS.
Man, yes. So shout out to Keisha Lewis for calling me when I was on a removal. Horace. Man, I gotta even give a shout out to Wayne Harlow. He attended your leadership academy, I think.
He sure did.
Okay, Wayne Harlow, he attended he's actually the reason how we hooked up. Like he was like, "Oh, like you need to get a hold of Keisha." And I was like, "Okay." And it was some stuff was going on with management. He's like, "Get a hold of Keisha." And I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh shit. All right,
he's
I
a
got
good
it. I
guy.
got it. I got an in."
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Oh man. So, all right, let's see. Moving right along, Keisha. I know you're probably gonna have you got some stuff to do tonight, but man, we're gonna keep plugging along here. Um, the word fractured. So with the NALC being, it's the truth. With the NALC being so fractured right now, like if you had a crystal ball in front of you, how long do you think it is until the NALC is back on top of the mountain? Like if you're rubbing the crystal ball and you're like, "Hey, NALC, when will we be back on top again?" What is your opinion on what is your thoughts on that?
A couple of years.
Like a couple, like two, three?
Um,
What is a couple?
what is the cup? Hopefully, it won't be more than two or three to get back going. Um, I think that after whatever happens in this next elections, hopefully, um, we can start as the nationally, we can start moving forward. I don't necessarily know if that's going to happen before the 2026 elections. And then the local branches will have to also do a lot of work with getting the branches united with the branches that are not united, because I can't speak for every single branch, but for the branches that have issues. So I would say a couple of years.
Man, well, that's better than a bunch, right?
Yes, it is. Hopefully, and hopefully it's only a couple of years.
That's better than a bunch. Oh my God. Yeah, because man, I don't think we could take much more of this. Man, oh, and from what it sounds like too, like the stars really have to align, like locally, like everything seems like it's got to align in order for us to get back to where we need to be. Um,
Yes. And
and
putting the membership first, because that's what we're supposed to be, putting the membership first outside of any kind of agenda that you have. Because if you don't put the membership first and there's something else going on, you're going to start seeing a lot of issues within the membership. So we have to make sure that despite whatever's going on, you're putting the membership first.
I agree. I agree. Um, man, I wanted to ask you a question. I wanted to ask you a question just from my own, just out of my, just just me personally. I wanted to ask you a question about uh the letter carrier political fund. I wanted to ask you a question about the letter carrier political fund and just technically speaking, like what is your opinion like if I was in your branch and I said, Keisha, if you were president, and I was like, Keisha, do you think I could be a alternate steward? Like, would you appoint me to be an alternate steward, even if I didn't donate to the letter carrier political fund? What's your take on that?
For the most part, a lot of the stewards, I mean, a lot of the members in our branch that want to be a shop steward, they don't contribute to the letter carrier political fund. So that's not an issue to appoint someone and they're not contributing to the letter carrier political fund. I can't remember if I was the executive vice president or the or the president, but I do know I implemented a policy to where we had the letter carrier political fund committee going to the training classes, informing the potential shop stewards the importance of the letter carrier political fund. And it's my hope that once they're a shop steward and they start getting more involved, they see the importance of the letter carrier political fund.
I agree. I agree. Like, man, man, I hope other, other branches out there, they take that same approach. Like, go ahead and, let them in the kitchen, show them the recipe, and then let them taste the food, right? And then, hey, by the way, like, we need to get these knives sharpened, so we got to send them out.
Right,
This is how much it costs. It could cost $1.
right,
So what do you think? It's good for us.
right.
Instead of just stonewalling them like, nah, you can't. Nope.
No, absolutely. And then there's like sometimes there's even people that don't even really know that they want to be a shop steward, but once they get the hang of it and we tell them the benefits and we help them out and you're there for them and you just don't throw them in, you're there to mentor them, they understand the importance of being a shop steward as well.
I agree. I agree with that 100%. 100%. Um, let's see. I got another question, and I I'm a CLC supporter uh,
Hmm.
for the 2026 election.
Hmm.
Shout out to James Henry,
Hmm.
supporter. I like James. Um, But saying that, I also think an independent, someone independent, outside of the movement can be just as qualified.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I feel like a lot of people that maybe aren't qualified will latch on to the CLC uh just to, how do you want to say this? Just to have the flag and fly under the flag, and you might not even be qualified per se.
Okay.
Um, but I think due diligence is required by the members when voting for candidates, regardless of affiliation with, like, say, CLC or what any of these other movements. What was there was one where that old guy had, he's like 80 years old. What was his little,
Oh, David Noble.
yes, what was his called?
Um,
I couldn't even tell you right now.
was that it? I don't remember.
I don't remember either. That's how memorable it was. But um man, I think like there's just as qualified independent NALC killers that would win, and can win, but the membership has to just do their due diligence. They can't just say, "Oh, they're rolling with them. That's what I'm going with."
Correct.
You know what I'm
Correct.
saying? So
Correct.
like, what do you think? Like,
No, I believe that. I believe that we don't know who else is gonna throw their name in the hat. And I don't have anything against James Henry. I've been knowing him for probably, oh my God, I know for sure over 20 years that I've been knowing him, but I don't have anything against him. I love him. He's like a good friend. Well, he was a good friend of mine, but I don't have any issues with him. But I'm not a pro anybody person. I'm not a pro Brian Renfro. I'm not a pro James Henry. I'm not a pro CLC person. I'm for a pro membership, like whatever is in the best interest of the membership. And if I'm voted into Branch 1100, I'm not about the CLC. I'm not about Brian Renfro. I'm not about headquarters. I'm about Branch 1100. We're the biggest branch in the country.
damn, I might as well just end the podcast there. Shit. Golly. Fiery. It's a good thing this is not on video because it'll probably oh my God, that was spicy. Like, damn, turned it out. Are you there?
No, because this kind of been bothering me. So I'm kind of glad you brought that up. And then we'll go back to my branch elections. But like a lot of people, like, oh, she's pro Brian Renfro. No, I'm for pro whatever is right. Everybody and everything deserves its due process. And if you look over the records when the charges were brought up about one particular charge, an example, because my name is in there so you can see what I'm actually saying, but the charge about him not showing up to the Region 1 rap session, you can clearly see that I said that it was wrong. A lot of presidents came just to hear him speak and how it affected my region. So if I'm a pro Brian Renfro person, why am I speaking the truth then? I'm always going to stay true to who I am, and I'm about the membership.
That's facts. And you know what? Like, I could probably piggyback that with and I'm a nobody. I'm a
You
no
are somebody.
Hey,
Everybody is a
hey,
somebody.
Keisha, I'm a nobody.
No,
But
we're letter carriers.
I'm a letter carrier, god damn it.
Yes.
Hey, but I could piggyback that with this pro, like the whole pro like, oh, she's, what is it? She's a Renfro supporter. Man, like,
And I really don't want to like go back into that because I don't want it to like keep going back and forth. I think that sometimes when you tell people, let me see, let me wait so I can see the evidence before I make a decision, they're like, oh, she support him. No, I just want to see the evidence because if it was me or my child, I want someone to be able to read the evidence and not make a decision before reading it. That does not mean that I'm not going to come to the same decision as you, but everybody deserves their due process.
what do you call that? Following blindly?
And then do you want that kind of leader? So do you want that kind of leader that if somebody says, I need for you to do something, you're just going to follow them blindly? Because what's going to be the next thing that they're going to want you to do? I've always made up my own mind, even if people are happy about it or upset about it, even as the branch president. I have my own independent mind. I'm a leader. I don't follow behind anyone, and I'm always going to put the membership first.
And that's the way it should be.
Absolutely.
That's the way it should
If
be.
I was delivering my route, that's what I would want my leader to do.
And that's the way that's the way it should be. um when you're talking to backtrack a little bit, um I did, and man, you might not want to talk about it, but man, I'm gonna bring it up, and then you could just say no comment when I'm done with what I'm saying. But I saw some stuff online, and some snowballs were thrown, um and it was a CLC guy. uh and I don't know this guy personally. I've heard him on Corey's podcast, and he's an old guy. He's smart. He sounds really smart. um and he has a lot of influence, right? But I have to disagree when he says you've done nothing, and the reason why you're coming back to be a branch president. um Me personally, I've never seen you oppose the COC or talk trash. Um, but let me say this, and this will probably go to, like, I'm not how I don't know how much you're into sports, but like if there's listeners out there listening, like if Keisha Lewis was a general manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers, and she drafted a rookie, and he was a stud. And man, say this rookie's name was Chris, and he was a stud. Like, he could throw 100 miles an hour, he could pitch, he could hit 40 home runs. Like, he was a beast. And she saw something in him and was like, you know what? Yeah, this dude from Kona, yeah, this dude, he's man, I see the potential in this guy, and I'm gonna let him start. I'm gonna instead of sitting on the bench, I'm gonna let this dude start and put him out there, and he starts killing it. He's killing it. Like, oh my God, this dude, he is a beast. And like he would have climbed the ranks of the NALC regardless. Um, but he moved up. He learned. He got put in a position by you and climbed the freaking ranks and hasn't looked back. And for for a CLC person, for a CLC person to say, yeah, Keisha, she's a Renfro supporter, like, that is so freaking irritating, because this dude is a CLC guy, and he's a beast. So I just want to say right now, like, I debunked that, because if you were a Renfro supporter, there's no way you would have a guy from the CLC just letting him loose, and just destroying management right now.
Yeah, I think that whole Renfro supporter came from me not blindly following behind certain people. But I absolutely adore Chris Reed, and that's what leaders are supposed to do. We're supposed to, like when I told you I'm going out to station visits, we're supposed to go out there and find the future. If we go out there and find the future, it's only going to better our organization because they're going to bring something to the table that you don't necessarily bring to the table, but it's going to make our organization grow and be better.
Tell him, Keisha. Tell him, like, hey, these people that you
And
like.
Yes, and
You're
it's not about if you're from the CLC. It's not about if you're a Trump supporter. It's not about if you're a Biden supporter. It's about the membership.
It's about the membership. Don't forget that. Do people like, man, everybody is so busy. Everybody is so, when it comes to retirees too, these retirees, they want to move the chess pieces around. They want to feel like, hey, you know what? Let me play chess, but I'm going to use these people as my chess pieces. Um, and I want to say, man, I respect the fact that you're not letting nobody move your piece. Does chess have a queen? You're not letting nobody move the queen around unless you say, "Hey, I'm moving right here.
Correct.
I'm in control of my piece.
Correct.
I
And
will
that's who
move
I've
when
always
I
been.
move."
Yes. Yes.
My hats are off to you with that. And dude, I love Chris Reed too. Hey, Chris, man, if you hear this podcast, dude, man, like I knew from day one, like, and I remember me and you talking, Keisha, like, dude, what do you think of Chris, man? And you were like, I need a bunch of those.
I need a bunch of those. I love his passion. I love his drive. I see nothing but a great future in store for Chris Reed. I am a fan.
Yeah, and when all of us are gone, when Keisha's retired, when James is retired, when who else is there? When Chris Jackson's retired, when Charlie Miller's retired, when who else is when Brian Renfro's retired or quits, you're gonna have Chris Reed. Like these people are the future. They're the freaking future. And hey, like
And
what
it's all of our responsibilities to pay it forward. So if the same opportunity that I got, it's my responsibility to pay it forward and find other leaders and people, and for me to believe in people even before they see their full potential. I will tell Chris Reed it's his same responsibility. It's his responsibility to go out there and find fresh meat, mentor them to where they may be even better than what he is.
Yes. And I'm gonna put my transfer in to I'm gonna make the announcement here. I'm putting my transfer into Branch 1100 somewhere out in LA. Maybe I can
Come
find something
home.
in Rancho Palos Verdes or something. I am on my way.
Love that.
Oh man, Keisha, this has been a nice conversation. Um, but man, like I'm gonna leave you with like I'm not gonna ask you anything anymore. I just want you to address your membership and let them know like, man, you're coming home and this is what it's gonna be. So, man, you have the floor, and then when you're done, man, I'll just go ahead and man, we'll finish the podcast. You got the floor, Keisha. Let them.
Thank you. Branch 1100, I have been there for you since 2007. You've seen the work that I have done over the years. When I was brand new and nobody believed in me, something happened. It was called the National Reassessment process. I developed a plan, a strategy to combat that to where National was even looking at that. And I started testifying at all the arbitration cases. I had weekly meetings with injured employees to show them how to get paid. When I became a vice president, you saw me in that field. You saw me filing grievances for you. Lake Elsinore, as a very small office with maybe 15 letter carriers or less, I was in there almost every week fighting for those letter carriers. As the executive vice president, as the senior vice president, I mentored Daryl, Jeffries, and Linda to put them in leadership positions for my branch. As the executive vice president, I started taking over my branch and doing the things that my president didn't have to do, and he can rely on me to help him run our branch. When they started the case configuration in Riverside, I was there every morning for the first week at 5 o'clock in the morning. The first day, I filed 40 grievances on the case configuration. As the executive vice president, we started having making sure that our branch picnics was even better, and just started taking our branch to newer levels. I was deeply involved in the food drive. I didn't just give the food drive to someone. I was deeply involved in that food drive to make sure that we were successful as Branch 1100. As the president of Branch 1100, I took the branch to a whole nother level because of the years of experience that I had. And I made sure that I had good relationships with the congressional representatives. I made sure that I held our officers accountable. I made sure that our branch was had stability. If there was any issues in our branch, I made sure that we dealt with it behind closed doors. But when we walked out, we was on one accord. So I have been there for Branch 1100. I'm asking that you have that belief in me that you've always had to move the branch to the next level. We will start back having labor management meetings. I will start back having rap sessions. We would have a podcast. I have asked Kirk Bias, who is the king of training, to help do some additional training for our shop stewards because they have been complaining about the training. So I am ready on day one to move the branch to the next level. We are the biggest branch in the country. We need to keep our head up high, our chin up, and smile because we're the best damn branch in the country.
Oh my God, Keisha, when are we going to get the results of the election?
I'm glad you said that. Ballots are at your house now. I have sent out a sample ballot. Please vote the clear choice slate, and ballots have to be back on I think 10 a.m. July the 7th, but do not wait that long because you don't know how long it's going to take to get there to the PO box. Please fill out your ballots now and send them back as soon as possible. If you made a mistake or you didn't receive it, call the branch as soon as possible. You can go on to the branch website, branch1100.com, so that you can get the phone number and call our branch secretary, which is Sharon. Shout out to Sharon. She's on my slate. She has the experience of being the secretary and she had to get a year of training. But call Sharon and let her know that you did not get your ballot so that she can make sure that you get another ballot in the mail. Please believe in me and my team, and we will show you the results and you will be able to see it within 6 months.
Man, well, I believe in y'all. And I know a lot of people in 1100 also. Man, 1100, man, that's the place to be. I got to give a shout out to Paul Gallegos. Paul, you'll always be a hero to me.
Oh,
Um,
I remember Paul. Paul used to come to our Christmas party and bring his little kids.
that's crazy. Oh my God. Yes. Well, Keisha, man, keep us. So when will the ballots be counted? If they're
On July the 7th.
Oh, sheesh. Damn,
It's
that
a quick turnaround. Make sure you fill it out now. Don't lose it and send it back in.
man, so my dumb ass. So if so when you win, you're still your NBA. Like, how does that work? Like,
The branch president has to announce when the installation is. So once he announces when the installation is, when I win, then I will become the branch president.
and you basically step down from national, from business agent.
Correct.
Okay. Man, ah, man. That means I won't be able to hit you up anymore.
Yes, you will.
Okay, I'm holding you to that. It's on record. So,
Pinky promise.
all right, Keisha, man, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Um, man, I wish you all the best, and I wish 1100 the best. And man, may the best candidate win.
Woo woo!
And just keep fighting for the membership, the carriers. Fight for them. And I know you're a
Absolutely.
fighter. I don't know the other guy, never met him, but I know you're a fighter because you fought for me in another branch. So hats off. I love you.
Love you
Um,
too.
take care, Horace. I love you too. And man, Keisha, wrap your arms around your family, stay close to your family, get to those games. Man, those memories are gonna last him and the rest of your sons a lifetime. They'll always remember it. Always. So, man, well, thanks for coming to the Comfort Stop. And man, hopefully I can get you back on here when you take over 1100. How's that?
Absolutely.
All
And
right.
congratulations with your podcast. I wish you much success and thanks for allowing me to come on.
All right. I'm going to talk to you later. Have a good night.
See you on the other side. Bye bye.
Bye. Yep. And there you have it. A quick conversation with possibly the future branch president of Branch 1100, Keisha Lewis. Man, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. And I never use the word thoroughly, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. Shout out to Keisha Lewis. Shout out to Horace Lewis. Shout out to my guy Chris Reed. Man, I love you, brother. Shout out to the three people that are listening to this podcast. Shout out to Ron Speakman. Shout out to Lino Miranda. Shout out to Jeremy. Shout out to Dusty. Shout out to God, there's so many. Joshua. Shout out. Man, everybody. Anyway, I gotta go. We might try to go to the movies tonight and go see 28 Years Later. So, man, I'm all out of water. Man, so it's time to shut it down. It's time to shut it down. We've been out here a long time. So, yeah, let's go ahead and call it a wrap. And then we'll be back, on the flip side, because, if you got the flip, there's like the flip side. It's almost like gross cough together like a sandwich. Flip side, home team. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. So anyway, holla. Peace out, y'all.